Hello dear students, welcome to Department of Chemistry, KTHM College Nasik. So student, in our previous lecture, we discussed the structure of atmosphere. Then chemical and photochemical reaction takes place in the atmosphere. And also we studied the earth radiation balance, how the earth surface balance the radiation. We called it as a solar flux coming from the sunlight. Now today we are going to discuss about the chemistry of ozone. SOx's means sulfur oxides, NOx's means nitrogen oxides, and chlorides. Chemistry of ozone, sulfur oxides, nitrogen oxides, and chlorides. Now we will start with the first component, that is the ozone. So we start with the chemistry of ozone. So student, as far as our discussion about the structure of atmosphere, the atmosphere is classified into four different spheres. First one is a troposphere, then stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere according to the different altitudes. And we also studied that in each different spheres, different type of chemical species are present. If we think about the ozone, ozone is present in a very low concentration in a lower region, that is in the troposphere. As a part of a recap, I can say that as per as our discussion, the lower region was the troposphere. Next to that, stratosphere was there. The next one, mesosphere. And the fourth one was the thermosphere. So we peoples are more concerned with the troposphere. But in the troposphere, the concentration of ozone is very low. The very high concentration, or you can say the maximum concentration of ozone, is present in the second sphere, that is the stratosphere. In fact, the stratosphere ranges from the 11 kilometer to 50 kilometer of altitudes. From 0 to 11, there was the first sphere. We called it as a troposphere. Now, actually, the ozone is present in the stratosphere, and in an stratosphere, the maximum concentration of ozone is observed around the 30 kilometer of the altitudes. It is observed around the 30 kilometer of the altitude. The most important thing is that the ozone layer absorb the tissue damaging ultraviolet radiation coming from the sunlight. So the most important role of ozone layer is to absorb the tissue damaging ultraviolet radiation coming from the sunlight. If we think about the formation of ozone, the ozone is formed by the photochemical reaction in the stratosphere. We can go through the example, or you can say the reaction for that. When oxygen interact with the HNO radiation, it gets splitted into the nascent oxygen atom. So you will get the formation of a two free oxygen atom. We call it as a nascent oxygen. It will be your first reaction. This nascent oxygen in the second phase, or in the second stage, combine with the oxygen in presence of a third body and gets converted into the ozone. So the oxygen plus this nascent oxygen in presence of a third body gets converted into the O3, plus this is your third body. Now in this reaction, the third body may be the oxygen or it may be the nitrogen. The role of the third body is to absorb the energy liberated during the combination of oxygen and nascent oxygen, means O2 and oxygen. Because we know that this is an addition of O2 with oxygen. This combination will releases the energy. That energy is transmitted to the third body, and there is a formation of ozone along with the energetic particle, that is the energetic third body. The energy of a third body is then converted into the kinetic energy. In an overall reaction, you can say that the output of the second reaction is the formation of ozone with the kinetically energetic third body. This kinetic energy of the third body increases the heat. It means that it is also one of the pathway to maintain the temperature on the earth crust. If we think about the role of ozone, it absorbs the ultraviolet radiation which damages the tissue, and therefore ozone protect the earth from such a type of hazardous or you can say the dangerous tissue damaging ultraviolet radiations. When this ozone absorb the ultraviolet radiation, the ozone gets splitted. We will call it as a photo decomposition of ozone. In fact, this is nothing but the formation of ozone, I can say. These are two reactions in combination. We can say that this is the formation of ozone. And as per as the role of ozone, the ozone will trap or absorb the ultraviolet radiation, probably the ultraviolet radiation ranging from the wavelength 242 nanometer, 340 nanometer, less than wavelength, less than 340 nanometer will be absorbed by ozone, and it gets splitted into the O2 plus oxygen. It means that there is a decomposition of ozone into the oxygen molecule and oxygen atom. Again, I will call it as a nascent oxygen. It is better to write the oxygen in a close bracket, or you can say the square bracket. It indicates that this is an unstable species. So this reaction, I will call it as a photo decomposition. This is the photo decomposition. Photo decomposition of ozone. Photo decomposition of ozone. Now this formation of ozone, and this is the photo decomposition of ozone. These two reaction forms a one chain reaction. These two processes, formation and photo decomposition, forms a chain reaction. It forms a chain reaction. In this second reaction, there is a formation of ozone, and in the third reaction, photo decomposition of ozone. My intention is to tell you that these two reactions, by their chain reaction or by their chain sequence, maintains the concentration of ozone at optimum level. They maintain the concentration of ozone at optimum level. As per as I said, the stable and maximum concentration of ozone, which is maintained by chain reaction, that is the second and third reaction, is a maximum at an altitude of 30 kilometer. And if you find the ratio of O3 and O2, that is the O3 by O2 ratio, and this ratio is found to be the 10⁻⁻⁶. This O3 to O2 ratio is found to be the 10⁻⁻⁶. Now, this is nothing but the natural process by which the concentration of ozone is maintained. However, there are certain interruptions for this chain reaction, or you can say the chain is interrupted by certain thermal decomposition, because in an thermal processes, O3 can be decomposed thermally. I will write a triangle over here. as we are discussing about the thermal decomposition. When this ozone is reacted with oxygen, nascent oxygen, the thermal decomposition takes place and we will get the formation of two oxygen molecule. Now this is the thermal decomposition of ozone, and therefore whatever the concentration of ozone is maintained by these two chain reactions is gets interrupted. It was an account about the natural phenomenon. Along with this natural mechanism, there are another natural mechanisms are also there, which removes the optimum concentration or which removes the ozone from the atmosphere, and therefore it causes a trouble to maintain the exact or stable concentration of ozone in the atmosphere. It is estimated that the removal of ozone from the atmosphere is catalyzed by nitric oxide, and it is a major mechanism involved in the removal of ozone. The removal of ozone is catalyzed by nitric oxide. Now the reaction is a very simple one. When the ozone is interacted with nitric oxide, it gets converted into O3 plus nitric oxide. It gets converted into the corresponding O2 molecule, you can say. Actually, whatever the oxygen formed here, it is the force toward the formation of a nitrogen dioxide. So nitrogen dioxide will be formed as a one of the byproduct during this catalytic decomposition of ozone. Again, this nitrogen dioxide, or you can say the nitrogen dioxide along with the oxygen, they will combine, or you can say the nitrogen dioxide will combine with the oxygen atom, and it again form a corresponding nitric oxide and the oxygen. So this is your nitrogen dioxide. The nitrogen dioxide, it is one of the important pollutant. In fact, we will discuss in detail about the NO2 in our next session. It combines with the oxygen and it gives a corresponding again O NO plus O2. The overall reaction is a very simple one. This NO, this NO, as these are the catalyst. Now this is NO2, this is NO2. The overall reaction is that O3 plus oxygen, it gives corresponding O2 and again a second molecule of O2. So this is one of the important natural mechanism by which O3 is converted into the two molecules of the oxygen. Now apart from this natural mechanism towards the removal of ozone, there are many more human activities which causes a depletion of ozone. One most important chemical, which we call it as a man-made chemical, that is the chlorofluorocarbon, CFC, which causes a depletion of ozone. The depletion of ozone by human activities, by release of a certain chemical which will interact with the ozone and causes their decomposition, we call it as a ozone hole. What is mean by ozone hole? The decomposition or depletion of ozone by human activities is known as a depletion of ozone. Another class of the chemicals which can causes a depletion of ozone is the formation of various type of chemical reactions in the atmosphere. In fact, all these are the consequences of industrial developments. So students, it was an account about the ozone. Now we will start our discussion about the second important component which we have to discuss over here, that is the SOxX. So you can take a screenshot so that we will proceed towards our second part, that is the SOX6. Now the chemistry of sulfur oxides. Chemistry of sulfur oxides. Very basically, sulfur exists in their two oxide form, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. It is exists in the atmosphere in its two oxide form, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. The natural concentration or natural abundance of sulfur oxides in the atmosphere is a very low, approximately 0.2 parts per billion. Atmospheric concentration is approximately 0.2 parts per billion. Now we will discuss the chemistry of sulfur oxides in three different sections. First of all, we will discuss about the sources, then the reactions, and finally we will discuss the sink of sulfur oxides. Now we start with the sources. Now there are two important sources of sulfur oxide. The first source is the volcanic activity, because the volcanic activity directly introduces the sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. So the first source is the volcanic activities. And second is anaerobic decomposition of organic matter. Second is anaerobic decomposition of organic matter. In fact, the anaerobic decomposition of organic matter releases the H2S gas. It releases the H2S gas, and this H2S gas is then further oxidized into the sulfur dioxide, or you can say the sulfur trioxide. In fact, the oxidation of sulfur dioxide into the corresponding hydrogen sulfide H2S into the SO2 and SO3 is carried out by using a ozone. It can be carried out by O2 or it can be carried out by oxygen. We can write the oxidation reaction of the corresponding oxidation of H2S into the corresponding SO2. First of all, if we think about the ozone catalyzed oxidation, H2S, when it reacts with ozone, it gets converted into the two free radical. The first free radical is a sulfur hydride. We call it as a SH radical. The first radical is SH radical and the second radical is OH radical. Now this HS radical and the sulfur radical then treat with oxygen. Oxygen is there only. We will write the reaction of oxygen first of all. So we will get the formation of SH radical and OH radical. When it interacts with the oxygen molecule, यानी कि O2 molecule, we will get the formation of corresponding SO2 plus H2O. Secondly, the H2S gas can be oxidized by using a oxygen gas also. Obviously, in this case also, we will get a mixture of SO2 and H2O. And in the third case, it can be oxidized by using a ozone, H2S plus O3. It gives a corresponding SO2 plus H2O. In all these three oxidation reaction, that is oxidation of H2S gas into the sulfur dioxide, SO2 and water is obtained as a product. So it was an account about the sources. In fact, all the above reactions occurred more rapidly in presence of the photochemical smog. These reactions occur very rapidly in presence of photochemical smog, because the photochemical smog contains a maximum percentage of oxygen, means nascent oxygen, oxygen gas, and O3, since it contains maximum concentration of nascent oxygen, oxygen molecule, O3 molecule, and even particulate matter. Even particulate matter, because this reaction is also catalyzed by the particulate matter also. So along with that, the sulfur dioxide is converted into the corresponding sulfur trioxide by their oxidation, and again this oxidation is catalyzed by nascent oxygen, oxygen molecule, and ozone gas. We can write the reaction of a corresponding oxidation also. First of all, if we think about the oxygen atom, that is the nascent oxygen, the sulfur dioxide, when react with a nascent oxygen in presence of a third body, again gets converted into the sulfur trioxide plus energetic third body will be formed. It was the first possible case of oxidation. Alternatively, the sulfur dioxide can be oxidized by using oxygen molecule, SO2 plus O2 molecule. It gets converted into the sulfur trioxide. Now I will call it as a photochemical oxidation of a sulfur dioxide. It is catalyzed by certain radiations, or I will call it as in presence of particulate matter. Particulate matter. Particulate matter. Now here we have to use a half molecule. So we got a corresponding sulfur trioxide. And the third thing is that conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide by using a ozone. It will be the very simple one. SO2 when reacts with ozone, it gives corresponding sulfur trioxide plus oxygen will be formed. So this is an overall conversion of SO2 to corresponding sulfur trioxide. So it was an account about the sources of sulfur dioxide as well as the sulfur trioxide. Two major sources was there. One is a volcanic activity and second is anaerobic decomposition of organic matter. The anaerobic decomposition of organic matter will release H2S. This H2S is oxidized by using ozone, oxygen molecule and nascent oxygen into the corresponding sulfur dioxide, and this sulfur dioxide can be further oxidized again by using a same catalyst into the corresponding sulfur trioxide. So it was an account about the sources of sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Now we will discuss about the reactions of sulfur oxides. Reactions of sulfur oxide. The most important reaction of the sulfur oxide is the oxidation of a sulfur oxide with oxygen, which is catalyzed by the particulate matter, and it is a most important pathway for the gas phase reaction of a sulfur dioxide. What I called here, we are talking about the reactions of sulfur oxides. The first important reaction of a sulfur oxide is the oxidation of sulfur dioxide into the sulfur trioxide by using a oxygen. I will call it as a photochemical oxidation catalyzed by the particulate matter. So first important reaction, whatever already we have learned over here, that is SO2 plus half of oxygen, which is catalyzed by particulate matter, and we will get the formation of corresponding sulfur trioxide. Now secondly, the sulfur oxides, it means sulfur dioxide, or you can say the sulfur trioxide, Particularly, we will think about the sulfur dioxide. The photochemical oxidation of a sulfur dioxide can occur naturally in an sunlight over the wide range of humidity, even at a very low concentration also. And now in that case, we will get the formation of energetic particle of the sulfur dioxide, because in this reaction, sulfur dioxide will interact with H nu. Probably 300 to 400 nanometer wavelength of light will be required for that, and we will get the formation of a sulfur dioxide is energetic particle of sulfur dioxides. Now, this energetic particle of sulfur dioxide, when interact with the oxygen molecule in presence of water, gives a corresponding H2SO4. So this SO2 with energy, when interact with oxygen in presence of water, we will get the formation of H2SO4. So this is a second important reaction of the sulfur oxide. Mind well, in this case, the photochemical oxidations of a sulfur dioxide is carried out over here, and we will get a product H2SO4. Now both the sulfur dioxide as well as the sulfur trioxide reacts with water together and form a sulfurous acid and sulfuric acid. Mind well, here we have to react the sulfur dioxide as well as the sulfur trioxide with the water molecule, and we will get the formation of H2SO4 as a product. No doubt, all are the aerosols. Particle forms will be formed here. So first of all, we know the reaction of sulfur dioxide with water. We will get the formation of obviously H2SO3. We call it as a sulfurous acid. This is your sulfurous acid. Now this sulfurous acid again further reacts with oxygen molecule, and we will get a sulfuric acid, means H2SO3 react with half mole of O2, we will get the formation of H2SO4. I will call it as a sulfuric acid. This is your sulfuric acid. Now the similar reaction can be carried out with the sulfur trioxide. It means SO3 reacts with water, and we will get the formation of H2SO4. Overall, this is your third reaction. It was your second possible reactions, and this is your first reaction. So these are the important reactions of SOXs. Now beyond that, sometime the hydroxy free radical form can also involved in the reaction. So I will continue my reaction over here. So it will be my fourth reaction. It was the third reaction. Now the fourth reaction of SOX. As far as discussion, I told you that the hydroxy free radical form can also contribute in the oxidation of sulfur dioxide into the corresponding H2SO4. So how it will interact? Suppose this is your sulfur dioxide. When interact with the hydroxy free radical, what will be formed? You will get the formation of SO2 OH, and you will have a free radical over here. Am I right? Now once this free radical is formed, it reacts with again O2 molecule. It reacts with O2 molecule, and you will get the formation of, now this is your OH. I will write oxygen on that side, OH, then SO2, then O2, and it will be the free radical. Again, energetic free radical species will be formed. And when this energetic free radical species will interact with the nitrous oxide, means what? HO, then SO2, then O2, interact with the nitrous oxide, we will get the formation of HO, then SO2, then oxygen only plus NO2. Nitrous oxide gets converted into the nitrogen dioxide. So it is also one of the reaction which is carried by or which is observed in case of sulfur oxides. Now our next part is the sink of sulfur oxide. Sink. First of all, we'll discuss the sources. Next one, we'll discuss the reaction of SOxX. Now we have to discuss about the sink. Now the sulfur oxides means a sulfur dioxide as well as a sulfur trioxide reacts with the salt and gets converted into the corresponding sulfate. Along with the salt or a reaction which leads to formation of the sulfate, they can also form a hydrogen sulfate. More especially, it will interact with the ammonia. So first of all, we will write the reaction with ammonia. Suppose SO2 will react with the ammonia molecule. So as far as the discussion about the H2SO4, when SO2 and SO3 interact with the water molecule, it gets converted into the corresponding H2SO4. So we can write directly H2SO4 over here. So the H2SO4 when reacted with ammonia, it gives corresponding NH3 twice SO4. Here we have to use a 2 moles. So we will get a ammonium sulfate. If this H2SO4 reacts with the sodium chloride, we will get the formation of Na2SO4. Along with that, HCl will be the byproduct. So we will use a 2 moles of NaCl, 2 moles of HCl will be liberated. Now these are the sulfate, corresponding sulfate. Now these are 2 sulfates, that is the sulfuric acid and whatever the sulfate converted into the corresponding sulfates, they are removed along with the rainfall because they are present in the form of aerosol in the atmosphere. Now, along with that, we must know the contribution of various human activities in disturbing the concentration of sulfur oxides in the atmosphere. The most important source, or you can say the source for the pollution, is the human activities, and more particularly the burning of the fossil fuel is a major one. So the burning of a fossil fuel increases the concentration of SOx's in the atmosphere. So students, in this lecture we will stop here. In our next lecture we will discuss about the rest of the important pollutant, that is the NOx, nitrogen oxides and chlorides. I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you.